Hey, what's up, my dudes? Alright guys, I got a unique video for you guys today. This is something I've been practicing and working on for a little bit because I wanted to see how it worked with me before I started talking about it with everybody else. This one is about heart rate, stress from gaming, and how I need you guys to learn this stuff like literally yesterday. There is actually a cause for concern with your heart rate and stress levels when it comes down to intensive or competitive video gaming, and these things are just now being brought to light. I'm going to show you some research, I'm going to show you what I did to myself, and I'm going to talk about ways that we can improve this so everybody has less of a chance of getting something like a cardiac arrhythmia later in life. Okay guys, so without further ado, let's get right into the video, and I would like to thank today's sponsor, Prestige Labs, who has been amazing for me personally, and I'm going to show you guys a bit of my routine about how I go about using them on a daily basis. As a coach and personal trainer, I wake up every single day at 4:15 to get ready. So you're getting a look at what my morning routine looks like on a daily basis. Cooking a little bit of food so I'm ready for my breakfast to get the day going the right way. And on top of that, I take my Prestige Labs supplements. Now, what you're looking at right there is Burn AM. I also use Test Storm. I have an entire stack of stuff that I use because this stuff is high quality and it works. They're manufactured by Whole Foods. They're CGMP certified. They are absolutely amazing. I cannot speak highly enough of them. They help me get through my day and have enough energy left over to have killer workouts. Now, here's the stack that I'm currently taking. It's called a 4-banger, but I also use the pre-step 1 to get me hyped up and ready for the workouts, especially after a long day. There are some days I work 12 hours, and it becomes a little bit hard for me to get going at that time. Now, after I've had my supplements, I'm good to go, baby. As you can see right there, this is me doing an upper body workout. This is a push-pull combination. I want you guys to see that I do all this on the regular. And if it weren't for Prestige, I would not hit this 1-rep max that you're looking at 440 pounds on this trap bar deadlift. So, part of my recovery is power greens mixed in with protein shake. Put it in the little shaker bottle and shake away. What you're looking at now is an amazing and good tasting drink that has awesome benefits as well as protein, amino acids, and immune boosting benefit for you, the person trying to get in healthier shape. I personally recommend all of these products because I have tried all of these products as well as other people that have tried them have seen massive results in a short period of time. I want you guys to know something about Prestige that I haven't said or endorsed anything else before. They are the highest quality that is on the market right now. If you're using my code at checkout, Fitness and Gaming, you'll get 30% off. Alright, so I want to show you in the upper right hand corner of the screen, that is my heart rate monitor. Now, that wraps around my chest very close to my heart, and the goal for what I was looking for is when does my heart rate peak, when does it drop, what's going on while I'm playing in a match. And I found some really interesting findings with this. I have a couple of different ways of showing you guys how this thing's work, what it is, and I want to talk to you about the research that's currently coming out because the research was very specific for things that are considered to be competitive gaming. They tested on like Mortal Kombat, they even tested on Tetris. I think that's the more well-known one right there. But I found the one for Mortal Kombat to be interesting because it pits 1v1 together. And they started to find some very interesting things. So, first things first, let me talk to you guys about how I decided to run my own experiment, and then I'll talk to you about why I did it the way that I did it, and what is going on during the match that this is right here. This is a freelance solo, or at least I'm soloing this one. I don't remember if it was freelance. And I did find that my heart rate does go up and down depending on what's going on in the match. That is something that can be improved and worked on. And as you see, my heart rate going up to 56, when it gets up to the blue, it's a sign that my body is showing excitability or that I'm getting pumped up or excited or my heart rate is changing its pace. I'm just sitting in a chair, watching my screen, looking at these guys' loadouts. And you'll see, as of right now, look at it go up a little bit. That's as if I'm walking, and I'm not walking. I'm sitting down in place. So as the match begins, when a new match is going on, there's a certain level of excitement that happens with me because I guess maybe the unknown, I guess maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's a brand new match, a brand new thing. A lot going on. So that is just something I wanted to show you guys and explain a little bit so you get an idea of like where my head is at and what I was looking for with my own competitive gameplay. I'm going to leave the monitor up there so you guys can watch the match as well as listen to me speak about the research behind this and what I did for it. So, you know, I just thought it was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have heart rate monitors or anything like that, but if you do have something that you can use to test your own heart rate while you are playing in a competitive match, it would be a really good idea to do that for health reasons alone. But also, competitively speaking, It helps if you know what's going on at certain points in match so that you can do a better job of controlling those emotions and those autonomic nervous system responses so that you can play more finely tuned. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the research behind all this. And we should determine whether or not something like this is cause for concern. People that play competitive video gaming have been found to have a reaction of sorts. Now, we don't know if it's, psychological, but we do know that there is something going on when people play competitive games with their heart rate, which would indicate a certain level of stress. Now, even if it's on the lower end of things, if left unchecked and compounded with time, it's going to progress to something that could be really negative. When you put that together with the fact that most gamers are sitting down, sitting is its own worst enemy, sitting can be considered the new smoking if you look at mortality rates, then we have a problem that is brewing for my fellow gamers in the making here. I want you guys to be aware that this is cause for concern, especially in video games that have such competitive high-level matches, like, let's say, Trials of Osiris, let's say competitive Halo. These types of things can be a really, really big unchecked problem if left alone for long enough, and I do believe that's where we're all headed. That is an interesting thing to notate. So if you are a competitive gamer, and you are stressed out in any capacity. Let's say, I know we all know this one guy that likes to rage during the game, likes to scream into his mic. Sometimes we have to mute this guy because he'll go on a long tangent. I do believe that this person is at risk, and I also believe that we need to talk about this sooner rather than later because I don't want people having heart arrhythmias, which is what the research is currently showing is happening if we leave these types of things unchecked, untalked about, and we don't work on improvement. So, that is what I wanted to show you right there. That is the research that is now coming out. Harvard's done a research on it. It's been published in PubMed. It's a lot of small-time studies at the moment, but it does indicate a larger problem. Now, my own experiment with this is what I want to go over with you guys next. You see I have the heart rate monitor. The heart rate monitor that I use is called My Zone, and I'm going to show you what the difference is when I go for a run and what it is for me to do a competitive game. I am a relatively in-shape individual. I do fitness for a living. That's my job. So it is my job to look the part as well as actually act the part. A lot of my heart rate was showing up as being higher than it should have been for someone that is just sitting at a desk and playing a video game. So my experiment, what I did within my own realm here was put on my heart rate monitor and then just watch. And I was taking notations on myself to see how I was reacting to things that went on in the game. When something did not go my way, let's say I got 3v1'd, a lot of the times my heart rate would spike up, and I noticed that I was feeling very upset. The other things that would happen when I got into a game, the thought of a new match that was exciting for me, so then my heart rate would spike up again. The last and final thing is when I'm doing a Trials of Osiris match and I win a 3v1, which happens every now and then, my goodness, my heart rate would spike up into not just the blue, but sometimes even higher blue to green. Now, I should probably explain what the zones mean. A blue zone is something like you're walking, you're starting to increase your heart rate. It has to do with 60, 70, 80, and 90% of what's called heart rate capacity. So if I am at 60% of my heart rate capacity, when my normal heart rate capacity is around 40 to 50, as you're looking at on screen right there, 40 to 50 is when I'm in a relaxed state. 60% is if I'm walking fast. 70% is if I'm jogging. So if I am literally sitting down at my desk and my body is getting this response of stimulation that says, hey, we think you're jogging, and all I'm doing is playing a video game, you can see that there's a mismatch there. And that mismatch is something that I believe can be improved upon with exercise and with things that you can do in between matches, before and during and after the matches, as well as after you're done with your match. And I want to talk about that right now. All right, dudes, so some of these are going to be pretty obvious, but I want to review them with you anyway. All right, I don't want you guys to wait. I think these need to be done as soon as possible because we're looking at something that contributes to long-term poor health. So, some of the stuff that we're going to go over here is going to be bare bones basic, but again, it should be obvious to you that you need to work on these and you need to work on them as soon as possible. The first one we're going to talk about is nutrition. Yes, the dreaded topic of every personal trainer talking to every single one of his clients has to do with what you guys eat. So, number one thing in nutrition that I think contributes to gaming in both a positive way as well as a long-term and longevity of health kind of way is going to be get more water, consume less caffeine, And when I think of caffeine, I think specifically about some of these pre-workout energy drinks that you guys are taking, which are quite horrible. I have a pre-workout that I take that has no caffeine, and it's in the description down below for Prestige Labs. Take a look at the photo. If you guys want that, that is a better opportunity or a better option. So yeah, make sure you guys are eating less sugar, especially, some processed foods, some bad sugar, stuff like that, because those types of things and having too much of them is only contributing to having a bad heart long term. And then combined with the stuff that we now know happens within gaming, it can contribute to long-term stress, heart arrhythmias. Those are things that we need to work on. So more water, less energy drinks, less sugar. Really simple stuff right there. Not going to mention anything about organics or where the water came from. Nothing like that. Just the bare bones basic. Okay. So now let's talk about fitness. We're talking about fitness in regarding to aerobic fitness, cardiovascular fitness, because that is the stuff that does help your heart and your lungs a lot better than something like weight training. Weight training is incredibly good for you, don't get me wrong, but we're specifically targeting things that have to do with your heart, your lungs, and your body's ability to have better circulation. Aerobic activity is the best thing you can do. Walking, jogging, some form of conditioning, or go play a sport that you find really, really fun. And yeah, right there, you're going to get some heart health out of that so that you have a better and a healthier heart. Super good for you. Now, the things that are specific for gaming. Here's what I want to go over with you guys really quick. I talked about what you can do before a match, during a match, and after a match. Those are the things that I want to mention right here. Before a match, we need to stretch. Now, posture in gaming chairs and posture in general for people that sit at a desk all day or for people that are gaming all day, posture is one of those things that can be a hidden problem. If you have poor posture, your heart, your lungs, your chest cavity, everything becomes problematic because it is now pinching in on itself. Your ribs are becoming tireder in this forwardly rotated position. It is absolutely a contributing factor when it comes down to heart health. And that's not to mention the fact that you sitting down for too long is also a problem, but this is specific for like forwardly rotated posture. Okay, so stretch out your chest, stretch out your lats, your shoulders, your wrist, because your wrists are a contributor to having a problem with your hands, and then stretch out your neck. The other part for before your match is to work on what's known as meditative breathing. Now, that is a really simple thing to learn. Essentially, it's breathe in for 2 to 3 seconds and breathe out for 10 seconds. Maybe a little bit longer if you feel like you got that kind of lung capacity. Do that as you're getting into the match to get yourself mentally prepared for the game that you're about to play. That should be incredibly useful to you for the prep stage. This is what I do with the athletics that I work with. I teach them about the mental toughness required and the calm before the storm of competitive matches, or, in our case, competitive gaming. So, those are the two things I need you to do before the match. Stretching, specifically regarding posture, which is chest, lats, shoulders, wrist, and neck, and then make sure you work on meditative breathing. Okay, now, in the middle of a match, while you're in these intensive moments, there's two things you can do. One, patience. Being patient in your game is incredibly important because being patient is something that needs to be worked on while you're under duress. And then pursed lip breathing and diaphragmatic breathing. Now, pursed lip is the one I'm going to go over with you. When you are going through a stressful moment, breathing in deep and breathing out through pursed lips like you're breathing through a straw, consistently within a rhythmic pattern, will help you reduce the stress that you are going to be under from being in this competitive and this inherently stressful match. Stress can be attributed to anything from excitability to being stressed. Anything that's going to get your heart rate and your blood pressure up is considered to be stressful. So if that happens long enough term, we know there's a problem there, right? We want your stress to be reduced, and the best way to do that during a stressful moment in your match is pursed lip breathing and patience. Now, after the match, I have a very specific recommendation, and I don't know if you've considered this or if you've done this, but get away. Get away from your computer, get away from your Xbox, get up and walk around. I know that sounds incredibly obvious, but I need you to get up and go look outside for a little bit, go look out the window, get your eyes off of the screen that's in front of you, get out of the position of being in bad posture, let your body have a reset period of time because you just had something stressful happen to you. Even if it's on a low grade level, it's still there. So, get away from your stuff for about a minute. A minute should be more than enough. But I want you to get away for a little bit longer in between stressful matches so your body, your brain, your heart, and your rhythms all have a chance to reset themselves. All right, my dudes, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about it. I'm going to let the rest of the trials match that you see here play out, and you can take a look at my heart rate as I'm going through some of these moments. And if you have been watching, you'll notice that it's been improving as I go along this match. It wasn't doing too good when we were losing, which you can understand that, I think. But then it starts to get better as I start to focus up and as I start to realize that this match was, within my grasp, and I am working through a patient mindset. Okay, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Love all you guys. Remember to keep it zen out there.
And this is the game. Very good. No trial too great for you, Guardian. Many will look to your leadership in the battles to come.